Your accountant is not your enemy, but do you dread that call? Follow my video and I'll explain more. Our mission is to help small business owners exactly like you. So please click the bell to subscribe to be notified every time we produce our best pieces of content, and we can get our message out to other small business owners too. Does the thought of speaking with your accountant bring you out in a cold sweat? Or even worse, do you just dread that call? And when they're calling, are you worried about it's going to be bad news or problems coming? Let's really explore this area in this video to show that your accountant could be a key ally in your business, not one that is there to cause you pain. When you get calls from certain people, you can think, damn, this is going to be bad news. And it doesn't have to be if the relationship with your accountant is really fluid and it's open and you've got really cool things going on. But I get when it comes around to money and tax, people are naturally scared. So there needs to be a mechanism that's in place, or you just change your thought process that with the relationship that you're going to have with your accountant, that it's not always going to be bad news and there are good things that you can chat through as well. So where is your relationship currently with your accountant in your business today? Cost concerns. There are some accountants that still bill on a time basis. So you can make a phone call, it goes on the time ledger, an invoice comes to you before that one phone call. And there are some clients that I sit in front of who are genuinely cheesed off about this. They don't want to be fear of the fee clock going on, although they understand both parties need to be remunerated properly to get the right level of advice that you need. But people could be put off where an invoice is going to come in the post straight after that phone call. Now, after hearing this many times with prospects that I was sitting out of, we give ad hoc phone calls for free. So if you want 20 minutes or 15 minutes or a quick email and stuff like this where you need some advice, there's no extra charge. Now, if it's 2-3 a day's work, then that's a different story. And I totally believe if the value's being passed and the time's being put in, that should be chargeable. When you've got an accountant, they should be one of your first point of call. They should be your sounding board. Someone, when you feel like you're in the trenches, that you can go to without the fee clock coming on and each phone call feeling like it's costing you money, because it puts loads of small business owners off. So if you can eliminate that problem with your account, we can talk to them freely. Now, I'm not saying every day when it's needed. This is where you need to be with your accountant. So if you can get rid of that cost fear, I think you'll help bring your relationship closer together. Now, when you ring up, you don't want to feel like you're a burden either, or like your life is not interested, because everyone should be. Now, I get that there are periods where people are busy, and I get that sometimes people are difficult to get hold of. An accountant does like to go on holiday every now and then, but you should have options on where you could talk to potentially multiple people. Now, I've heard this a gazillion times because the accountant is the bottleneck within a business, and you need to free that up. And one way that we got around this within our company, MDH, is we give people 3 points of contact. That then gives normally 2 technical and 1 practice support. Our queries can be answered a lot quicker, efficiently, and sometimes different people in the company are better at certain things. My team are loads better on tricks around zero than I am. But when it comes down to more strategic stuff, that's my bag. So it's about putting the right person in front of you to help your query the best way that you can. Because who wants to wait 6 months for a reply for an email, or potentially it's never come back at all? Lack of understanding of accounts and tax rules. This one's going to be a bit controversial. There's the term accountant is not protected. So what we have in our industry is we have some very glorified bookkeepers that are passing themselves off to accountants. I don't expect a small business owner to understand the difference between them. If they're an accountant, you would expect them to be able to do their job. But at the minute, a small business is getting cheated by really poor advice. So make sure your accountant is giving you great advice. Make sure they're up to date, they're using killer edge tactics, and sometimes if they're industry specific. We've got loads of clients in the construction, recruitment, property businesses, as well as professional services. And the deeper that we go into these clients, the more we understand about them. So make sure they're up to date with legislation. Make sure they're giving you great advice and you're not being caught short by people that are palming off to be accountants and they just have got the skills. Tons of small business owners have an anxiety about money and tax. It's just the way it is. But what you want to look to do is eliminate to see how could you get over that fear? How could you be more courageous with just understanding the bits that you need to know, which then takes away any doubt, takes away any fear, and allows you to go and make your business and your personal life more successful. So if you are in that catchment, and I'm not saying that you are, you maybe have this completely nailed, but there are tons of small business owners that are in this position where they're just overwhelmed. And if they're frightened to call their accountant because they haven't got that open relationship with them, where there's trust and there's good communication, it can feel really lonely. And if you're scared of something, it can consume you. Now, I'm not saying that you're sitting in bed where you're not getting out of bed in the morning, but if you've got seeds of doubt in your mind, that takes away your concentration. And that concentration stops you focusing on your customers, stops you focusing on your team, stops you focusing on your business, where if you took that away, you would be more focused on what you're doing. And I think it's a really small point that not many people talk about, but I think it's massive, because at the end of the day, it holds people back. So how do you get a good relationship with your accountant and the accountant's team as a firm that then give you great advice, and then you can motor on forward? Because although everyone says slow and steady win the race, that's a load of rubbish. You want to be the hare charging down to the finishing line and making sure that you are not sitting underneath that tree. The majority of small business owners don't understand accounts, and that's fine. What you want to get yourself into a position is what key bits you need to understand. You've got no interest in understanding the double entry bookkeeping. You've got no interest in the finalities and how depreciation is calculated, but you need to be in a position where you understand the key bits on your business. One, so you know it's successful or not. Two, how much income you're earning and what is the capital growth going with the business, and is it sustainable? If you understand them things, that's fine. And I've got some clients that walk into me, even now to this day, and they go, what's the tax? And you tell them, because all I want to ever do is give the right service to a client. Now, I'll say, look, we need to go into the detail of this, what's going right, what's going wrong, what queries have we got to make sure that you stay compliant. But there are still some clients today, and they will always do this. So make sure that you're asking the key questions for you for your business, and don't be frightened to ask. I always say with our clients, I'll always deliver information in the best way I think possible. And I don't get it right 100% of the time, but I will look for that glazed look on where you go, you don't get that, do you? And then so I have to rephrase it until they do, because that's my job. But also, you need to be able to feed back to someone as well, where if something's bugging you and you've got something that's just niggling you, I'm not saying bad, it's just frustrating. How could you eliminate that frustration to then give you what you need? Because again, that gets away all the seed about it, gets away the anxiety, and then you can crack on with your business, making it thrive, and also be completely present in your personal life too. Massive. Now, I hope this video has helped, but if there's any questions that you've got, click a link, our Calendly link below. That'll allow you to book a call with one of our team. We'll take on board any questions that you've got, and I promise there'll be no pushy sales pitch. Now, small business owners think that they're overpaying in tax. So we've got a book that's called 74 Ways to Pay Less Tax. Click the link below. How many of the 74 are you doing now? And if you're not doing all of them, how many more you could do in the future, and what will be the tax haven for you and your business? Download it today.